can put it on my channel.
Yeah, I will. Greetings, everyone. This is Trey. This is, what is this, the 17th of August, and I'm here with my friend Gary. He had set up an event for us to talk this afternoon, and he's having a hard time. It's not working properly, so he asked me if I could set up something real quick. So I just did that. And so I'm not sure exactly what Gary wants to talk about. Gary, I got food in my teeth. Do you know, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? You live in the UK, right?
Yes, I live in Manchester.
Oh, okay, good. And you're not married, you don't have any kids or anything like that, do you?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Well, I'm in the United States, state of Kansas, and I'm kind of recently divorced, and I have 6 children. Oh, thank you. Anyway, I'm just I'm a dental technician, just a regular guy. Enjoy talking about ultimate issues, and I think maybe you were provoked by something that I said, or maybe we had a conversation or something regarding abortion, but I'm not sure if that's what you want to talk about. What are you up to?
It was mainly your conversation with JD Kane and Fiona and Jade and those people.
Oh, and Talking Stuff Tuesday?
Yeah, Talking Stuff Tuesdays. Where you were talking to them about photographs that you shared when talking about abortion. Now, the reason that got me interested is because I just wanted to ask you some questions. This is going to formulate what I'm going to say to you. Okay. Are you against all abortion?
Well, no, I'm not against abortion if it's going to, if it's to save the life of a mother, for example, ectopic pregnancy, where the fertilized egg is in a fallopian tube, that will result in the death of the mother and of the child, pretty much 100% of the time. So, no, but it's very, 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 very rare. So yes, for the most part, I am against it, but not 100%.
Okay, so are you against? So are you against, for example, pregnant abortion? So what? Actually, this is probably an easy question to answer. What situations are you not in favour of pregnancy? Maybe that's more of a better question, shall I say?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
In what circumstances would you be against abortion?
Everything except for the life of the mother.
Okay. So what happens if, for example, and this has occurred, if the baby has to be removed because it died, if it died in a womb, for example, because removing the dead fetus is known as abortion. It's not necessarily if the mother is nebulous, it's that they're just removing the baby because the baby is no longer alive.
Okay, so if you left the baby in, what would happen?
It would usually it because it's a dying body, decay would happen and it would attack. Again, it depends. Again, there are certain. Again, it depends on how long, what age the baby died at, how long. So sometimes it could just be the cells that were replicating the baby didn't replicate enough.
No, I'm saying if you left the baby in the womb, it would eventually kill the mother, right? That's a dead body.
It depends. It depends because I've been reading up on this stuff, and it depends. It depends on how long in development it is. If it's significant enough, then yes, it can do. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not really concerned about us removing something from the body that's dead. I'm talking about killing that which is in the body out of convenience.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So you think that abortions are done out of convenience?
The vast majority of them are, yeah, in the high 90s, probably somewhere in the 90th percentile.
I mean, have you ever looked up at the statistics on this? I doubt that's the case. Because I don't think it's 90%. I think it'll be something like 2% use it as birth control. I think most people who do use it
I didn't say birth control. I said out of convenience. Rape, incest, and the life of the mother make up, I think, about 5 or less %.
5 or 10%. I doubt about that because again, it's usually it's done because of. It's nothing to do with convenience. It's to do with the financial situation.
That's convenience to me. That's convenience.
Like that. Convenience.
Yeah, that's convenience to me.
But that isn't convenient. So it's about well, mostly it's about the maturity of the person. Sometimes it can be about the financial situation. Sometimes it can be out of emotional situation, because sometimes when you've had a difficult pregnancy before, the woman doesn't want to go through that again.
Okay,
or if they've had an ectopic pregnancy, for example, where they've had a phantom pregnancy, sometimes that can mess with them.
Yes, but would you, if a woman were having financial troubles or health troubles, would you advocate for her to be able to kill her newborn?
I am pro-choice in my actions, but I'm pro-life in my leanings.
Okay, so I'm saying, you said that a woman should be able to terminate her pregnancy for financial purposes. Would you be opposed to a woman terminating her already born infant out of financial concerns?
No.
Why?
Because that baby is already born. It has a life. It has a existence. It has rights.
So it doesn't have existence when it's in the mother's tummy?
It depends what you're talking about.
Well, let's say the day before birth. Is it a baby or is it not?
Yes, it has rights. And yes, it is. But there's a significant time. I think it's 22 to 23 weeks where it isn't a baby or a human being yet. It is developing into that.
So is it like an elephant or a grasshopper?
No.
What
it's cells.
It's cells. What do you mean by cells? It's not human cells?
It's human cells, but they're not congealed into a human being yet.
Oh, so what point is that at?
22 to 23 weeks is the scientific consensus.
That it's a.
I'd even agree with you if you want to say 20 weeks. I'd agree with that because apparently that's when the pain sensors are beginning to build. From what I understand, I think it's 20 to 21 weeks is when the pain.
It's earlier than that, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, well, what is it? It's suddenly some kind of an alien being, and then it becomes a human when it can feel pain?
It's a zygote. It's a zygote. It's not a. It's the same way that a plant.
No, a zygote is right after fertilization. I mean, you got your blastocyst, and then it becomes a zygote, and then it becomes a fetus. But all of those, whichever stage, it's all a human at that particular stage of development. I don't understand what you're saying.
It becomes human after 22 to 23 weeks. It isn't a human being yet. I mean, scientifically, it isn't.
Scientifically, at conception, it's a human being. It has human DNA.
Just because it has human DNA doesn't make it human.
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for laughing here. Everybody gets mad at me because I laugh. But when somebody says something silly, I'm just like, what? It has human DNA, but it's not a human.
No.
So it's a grasshopper with human DNA.
Your blood has human DNA. Is that alive?
What's that?
Your blood has human DNA. Is that alive?
My blood? My blood is not me. My blood is not a human being. A human being is a human being. In other words, it has all of those characteristics that make someone a human being. And you could, if you allow it to live and to hydrate and feed it, it will become a fully grown human being. That's what a human being is. A fingernail, a blood, is not a human being. It is a component of a human being, but it's not the human being itself.
Okay, so what makes a fetus a human being, in your opinion?
Human being, it has human genetic code.
Okay, so it's human genetic code. It's not sentience that makes somebody a human being.
Sentient. So do you stop being a human being when you fall asleep or when you go under surgery? Is that when you become not sentient?
No, but you are sentient when you sleep or when you go over to, because that's the reason you dream or aware of things peripherally.
Okay,
you are conscious in some sort of manner.
Okay, so if you are knocked unconscious and you're not thinking about things then do you stop being a human being?
No, because again, if you're unconscious, when I say conscious, I mean consciousness. I don't mean conscious as in the state of consciousness. Because again, being unconscious, you're still aware of things peripherally. That's the reason why, if you're in a coma, for example, if somebody's speaking to you, you're aware of it.
No,
You may not
not
be aware of it
necessarily.
on a visceral level, but you're aware of it. That's the reason people tell people to talk to people.
That they may be, but they're not necessarily. That's not necessarily the case at all.
No, they are, unless they're dead, unless they're brain dead.
Okay, so what you're saying is because it's not developed enough, it's not a human being.
No, I'm saying that scientifically it isn't. If you want my opinion,
yeah, okay.
my opinion, again, I'd say after 20 weeks, then when the pain receptors are growing, then I think it classes as a human being because it's growing, because it's becoming self-aware and developing the things we would decipher as human.
So what if there are pain receptors at 12 weeks? Then would it be a human being?
In your view? In my opinion.
Have you ever seen the video of the silent scream?
Yes, I've seen that.
Okay, and what's a little fetus in there doing? It's trying to get away. Why is it trying to get away from the suction knife?
It's a reflex.
It's a reflex away from pain, right?
No, it's a reflex away from motion. Again, when motion comes towards you, you sway away from it. The same way that if the wind came and brushed against my hair, my arm hair would move. Again, you're mistaking my fact that again, I am pro-life in my leanings. Again, I agree with you on that, but here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's one of the main problems: is that you need to look into what happened when abortion was illegal in your country in mind. What happened? I mean, the amount of backyard abortions were through the roof. I mean, you're against the abortion state now. It was worse back then. I mean, it was. I think it's treble.
Do you know who? Are you familiar with Bernard Nathanson?
Who? Sorry. No, I'm afraid I'm
Bernard Nathanson. He was the founder of the National Abortion Rights Action League, or co-founder of it, and he was one of the largest providers of abortion, I think, in New York. And he actually ended up becoming pro-life, and he was one of the men who was instrumental for passing Roe v. Wade, offering evidence for the amount of suffering that occurred because of abortion. And they said, I think they gave a statistic of 10,000 illegal abortions were occurring, and he said it was a completely fabricated and it was a lie. They just made it up just to and nobody checked them out. And certainly there are things that happen like that. But can you imagine? In our country, we've had over 50 million lives sacrificed at the altar of sexual liberty and convenience, and to say somehow that is justified because some women will seek out abortions in an unhealthy fashion is ridiculous. I think it was Cook County was the county that Chicago was in, and I think the year prior to Roe v. Wade, they had 39 illegal abortions, I want to say. What the pro-abortion people do is they exaggerate the difficulties that will happen. But I don't want to make abortion safe, legal, and rare, because it's not. There are around a million abortions that occur every single year in our country, and worldwide many, many more. And are you familiar that the entire industrialized world is headed for a demographic disaster because we're not having enough children?
Pardon? What was that? Sorry.
The birth rate, particularly UK, is very bad. Germany's really bad. They're not having enough children to replace their population, and so their population is growing older.
Doesn't the UK, the population of the UK is just getting older? It doesn't mean that people aren't having children.
Well, yes, it does. It means that your birth rate is below 2.1, which is a replacement rate. Japan has had a 1.4 birth rate for several decades, and they are slated to lose 60% of their population by the end of this century. It's really it's shocking, the judgment that is coming, and nobody's paying attention. And a large part of that is abortion. We are embracing children. We think they're a pain in the rear, and so we kill them rather than embrace them. And I think that judgment is coming. Darkness was descending upon the industrialized world as a result of this. Germany's at 1.3, but they've not sustained that for so long as Japan, many of the European countries are like that, though. I think Spain and Italy is also very low. And it's shocking. Demographers have been warning for decades. They've been saying, we need to have more children. And we are killing ourselves. Because what can you imagine, Gary? What happens is your population gets older and older and older. And can you imagine what will happen when the average age of your society is 65 years old and you have nobody to support them? What's going to happen? What's going to be the ramifications of that? It's frightening. They're going to start killing people. They have to. They can't afford it. That's what's going to happen. You think it's bad right now. You think national health care is, struggling right now. Both our countries are having difficulty with that. It's only beginning now, and we haven't even gotten to the hard part yet. Where the number of people working to support the system is way outweighed by the people who need the system to sustain life.
Okay, but again, the birth rate has nothing to do with abortion. Again, abortion has
Well, sure it does. We're killing all of our children.
It doesn't, because again, the reason that abortion exists is not because we want to diminish the birth rate. It's because some women are not apt to be parents at a specific time.
It's because we're selfish, we're narcissistic, and we don't value children, and so we kill them all. And no, nobody wants to go extinct. Everybody wants to survive, but we've come to the point now where most people would prefer to have a dog than a child. That's especially in your culture, and it's growing in my culture. My daughter was just telling me that. She has one of her friends. She goes, I don't want any kids. I want to have a dog. I'm gonna have a dog. I'm gonna rescue dogs, and that's great. I love dogs. I just put my precious little Casey to death. But
let's see what the birth rate of UK is. Just Google that. Let's have a look.
I haven't looked. It's about 1.8, I think, and as part of it is because you have a lot of immigrants coming. That's the only reason it's not even lower. And so think about that. What kind of immigrants do you have in? They're the ones that are going to rule your country if they value children and you don't.
Okay, so the birth rate by 1,000 people in the UK in 2013, which is the one we have, it's only slightly less than it has been for the last 3 decades. The birth rate in per 1,000 people, let's look, in the UK for 2013.
Easier to look at fertility rate.
Was 13 people. In Ukraine, it was 11. In our, it's 14. So, like, the highest is like places like Venezuela and places like that, and Gaza and the West Bank, where it's like 30 and 31. Also, some places where it's 43. So this is per 1,000 people.
Right.
In the UK, it's 12.
Okay. If you look up fertility rate in the UK, it's 1.9 births per woman, which is negative.
It's fertility rate. Right.
Yeah, fertility rate. And if you continue that on ad nauseum, or I mean ad infinitum, you will eventually.
All right, 1.9 births, but that is standard. France is at 2.1. Yeah, but the thing is you're comparing it to the 1960s. Now, do you know what happened in the 1960s?
No, I'm not comparing to anything. I'm saying demographers tell us we need to have 2.1 to 2.2 children in order to maintain a zero population growth. And we want at least that. And usually every growing economy has a growing population as well, because you're having younger average age so that they can work and they can support. But when you have a negative or inverse fertility rate, then you have a problem, because the average population is growing older and older and older. Look up Germany, what their fertility rate. Last time I saw it was like, I'm not very good at looking at these things while I'm looking at it, but it's like, I think it's 1.3, which demographers call 1.4. They call it the death spiral. That's you're in a dangerous position right there. Once you maintain 1.4, I think for 2 generations, then you begin to lose. I think it's something like 1.38, you begin to lose 40% of your population every 40 years. So Germany is in a shockingly low, and I thought it was France, but I guess Italy and Spain, I think maybe some other ones. I haven't looked at this stuff in a while, but
okay. So your problem with abortion is the fertility rate of the countries. Why not talk about the countries and their lack of children produced by those countries? Again, the thing is that that's for those countries to be but it has nothing to do with abortion, which is to do with a woman's right to choose whether she has a baby or not.
Well, yes, but I think that giving a woman a child, the right to choose whether she wants to have a baby or not, why do you confine it only to the womb? Why not confine it to after birth?
Because um, a woman's right to choose is to do what she wants with her body. Again, it's a part of her body for that 9 months. Now, there's a point there where it becomes its own entity, and that's after that 22, 23 week
Okay,
period.
so you're saying degree of dependency. Since the child is dependent upon the mother, therefore it's not worthy of rights of humanity, right?
No, no. Again, I said after 22, 23 weeks.
Okay, so it's a degree of okay. So you're saying degree of development. Because
Yes.
it's not developed enough, it's therefore not a human being worthy of rights,
No.
right?
No. Again, if you want my personal opinion, I think that's arbitrary. But again, I'm talking about the scientific consensus.
I'm asking you to give me the scientific justification. I asked you if it was degree of dependency. You said no. I asked if it was degree of development. You said no. So what is it?
It's to do with the development of the feet.
That's right. It's not developed enough to be called a human, right? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So take that logically out. So then, would it be fair to say that a little girl is less of a human than a fully developed woman because she has a lower degree of development?
No. Because
Why
again,
not?
because she has sentience. It's about sentience. It's not about stage of development. It's about sentience. She does not develop. A baby does not.
Okay. Okay. What is it about sentience that makes a human special? In other words, I want an objective reason. You're saying that we have a moral imperative to protect people who are sentient, and if we don't, we are sinning. I need you to tell me how that works out. How you come to that?
That we're sinning. Okay. I come to that by a few factors, which is that the scientific consensus is that a zygote becomes a baby and becomes able to feel, to taste, touch, and all this sort of stuff at 22 to 23 weeks.
Yeah, but why is sentience your objective standard? I'm telling you why. I'm asking you why it's so special about that.
It's a scientific standard.
I'm sorry?
Now, is that a perfect standard? Again, I'm not here to say. Again, I'm only going by what science determines life to begin, human life to begin.
Science determines life to begin at conception. That's the scientific fact. That's what science says.
Really? Where does it say that?
Huh?
Where does it say that?
It has a human DNA at conception. Is it a human at conception? What kind of? It's not something else. It's a human. It's just like an oak tree. An acorn is an oak tree at the acorn stage. It's still an oak tree. It's of that genus or that species of being. It has that categorization. A human is a human because humans only beget humans. They do not beget apes or elephants. They beget humans. So whatever the offspring is that comes out of a human is a human.
Okay, but again, that's not what scientists say. Again, when at the birth of again, that's not what I want to talk to you about anyway. Because what I want to talk to you about was your use of the photographs.
Okay, sure.
Okay, now you do understand that your photographs you post are hurting people's feelings, and not just people who've had abortions, but people who've had miscarriages, people who've had front-end pregnancies, who've had stillbirths, had the lot. Why are you going after every woman who's had to go through the pain of losing a baby? Just to get to the small amount who've had abortion.
So you think I'm trying to hurt people's feelings and that's my goal? Or do you think my goal is to show the horror of what abortion is so that it will stop?
I think that you're trying to shock people into stopping abortion.
No, it's not a matter of shock. It's just showing what do you think about showing pictures from the Holocaust to raise awareness? What do you think about that?
Okay, you can't equate the two.
Oh, because it's not allowed because it's too good a point, right?
No. Because again, you can't equate the killing of 6 million Jewish people and communists and gay people and whatever else decide to kill to the killing of to the removal of a cell from a woman's womb.
A cell? What is a cell? Is that a room or something inside of her?
No, it's a cell. It's a scientific term for what they're removing.
A single cell?
It's a clump of cells.
Oh, it's a clump of cells.
Yes. Well, it depends where usually when they remove it, because again, it's usually at the first trimester. It's usually not attended after the second for medical complicated reasons, which I cannot go into now.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually when it's removed, it's a clump of cells. That's the reason why Fiona Robertson knew that the pictures you were posting were not of abortions; they were of miscarriages.
Fiona doesn't have any idea what she's talking about. Then I showed a hand and an arm that was torn, a limb torn from the body. What are you talking about? That was. How would Fiona know that? Fiona, I don't even think she said that though.
She did say that.
Well, if she did, she was saying that she was grieving over the fact that reminded her, or reminds women, I don't know about her specifically, of a very difficult time in her life. And for that, I am compassionate, I am empathetic, and I grieve over that, but I'm not trying to hurt them. But I think that it's necessary that people see exactly what's going on. It was the same thing with General Patton took the Germans through the Dachau or whatever, some of the camps there, and he made them look at what happened because they closed their eyes and said, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. And Pat says, no, you're going to see it. You're going to look. And this is what you guys are doing right now. You don't want to look at it, and you get mad. No. And all I'm trying to say is look at what is going on.
No, I'm trying to appeal to your humanity here, because again,
I am too, so am I.
We're not of abortions. Okay, abortions do not look like that. Okay, we know because
you know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
Because again, when abortion occurs, okay, there's a few things. That A, is a clump of cells when it happens, and B, they're not.
No, it's not. Because you don't have a clue about what you're talking about, Gary.
Right.
What does a fetus look like at 10 weeks?
Right. If abortion is performed at that level, that's in heavy into the second trimester. Do you know what
first trimester?
That person would be struck off. Okay, abortions cannot happen usually at that level of development. Okay, for a few
12
reasons,
weeks. Gary, you need to do some homework. You don't have a clue about what you're talking about. The 12-week abortion is a first trimester abortion. Do you know what it looks like? They even suck their thumb in a rudimentary fashion at that time. You don't know what you're talking about, my friend.
I do, because again, I've studied baby development.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, somehow you missed that page, I guess. I don't know. It's a fully formed baby at 12 weeks. You can see it. I have a picture of my second daughter at 10 weeks, and it's the same nose. I look at that little girl and that sonogram, and that's Kristen's nose. And my kids laugh at that. They said, "Yep, that's Kristen."
More clump of cells that's forming it into a human being. It isn't a fully formed human being yet. It's not a fully formed.
Why don't you do a little Googling and Google a 10-week or 12-week fetus and see what that looks like? If it looks like a clump of cells.
Baby development.
I'm sorry?
My sister studied child development. I studied child development.
Okay, so why are you so ignorant about this then?
I'm not ignorant. I'm just telling you that again, the pictures you showed were not of a 12-week old.
No, that was even earlier. Those were like a 7 or an 8 week. Those hands.
Those were not 7 and 8 weeks. I can tell you now.
What were they at? What were they?
Those were at least about 14 weeks. Even later.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Maybe 12 at the most.
They had 4 and 5 fingers. They had a lot of fingers.
All their fingers. At 8 weeks, I've got a picture at home that I used to take to the abortion clinic to go counseling. Right. It's an 8-week fetus, and it's got hands, and it's fully formed. I mean, it's kind of not shaped like a baby yet, but they're 5-fingered hands at 8 weeks. You can look it up even now as we're talking.
Okay, here's what it looks like. Let's just post this down below. Can you screen share this?
Yeah, how do you?
If you want to,
let me see if I can share it. Well, why don't you do it? Because I'm not very good at that stuff. Oh, there it is.
Where is screen share? Just a sec. Okay, let's look at it. Right, can you see that?
Yeah, hold on just a minute.
Can you see that pretty well?
Week 7?
That's week 8.
Well, the one you sent me is week 7, and it's important to understand that when the doctors count these off, They count your age of your child from the time of your last period. So what it does is most of the time it's usually 2 weeks younger than what they say it is.
Right. This is development at week 8. Okay, this is week 9. Okay. Now you said that it's developing 5 fingers. It hasn't yet. Week 10. That's what it started to look like. It not even there yet. Week 11. Okay. It started to look a little bit more. It's beginning to again. It tells you all the things that it started to develop.
Hold on.
Okay, it starts to become fully more baby there. Okay.
Okay. Now see, I'm looking up the 12 weeks for images. You want to show one of those?
I'm already showing them. I'm sure this is week 18.
Hold on, I'm not on your page here.
Okay, I'm going to week 20 now.
No, I want you to show real pictures of real fetuses at that age. And remember, when the doctor calls it, it's usually 2 weeks younger than what they say it is. I've not done much of the screen share stuff.
Right, you want me to screen share images of babies at of 8 weeks? What from ultraviolet for scans, from baby scans? Okay, so fetus 8 weeks. Let's see if we've got images on the old internet. Okay, there you go. That's what they look like. There you go.
Of what is that?
That is a fetus at 8 weeks.
Okay, 8 weeks, and remember they count the age of the child from your last period, which is usually 2 weeks younger than what it is. So that's more like a 6 week. So now look up a 10 week.
10 weeks now.
That's going to give a more accurate a picture of what an 8 week would look like.
Okay, 8 weeks.
Okay. Now, is that a blob of tissues, or is that something more?
That's going to form into a human being.
Okay, so it's not a clump of cells, right?
No.
Okay.
So but some of these images are from abortion pictures, I know, because like
some
are something like that. That's what I think. When it isn't a isn't done by, you know. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Okay. Just stop.
Okay, so it's not a clump of cells, right? I'm going to do this.
Okay. So it's becoming to form into a human being. It's not a human being yet.
But it's not a clump of cells, right?
No.
Okay. See, this is what they're exchanging. This is the whole thing over the Planned Parenthood thing is the controversy is over the exchange of hearts, of brains, of leg tissue, all of these things that they're getting them into the first trimester, and they're selling those parts, and they're saying, well, that's the cost to recoup whatever. Well, okay, but the fact that I want to point out is that it's not clumps of cells, it's body parts that they are exchanging, and this is my problem.
Okay, Planned Parenthood. Okay, Planned Parenthood is about female well-being. It isn't about just doing abortions. Abortions make up there's a few things that you have to know about Planned Parenthood. All right.
Okay.
First of all, you as a taxpayer are not paying for abortions. Okay. Right. As a taxpayer, that's a private thing because it's a medical unnecessary procedure. Okay. As
Well, no, the
a
reason they're not paying for it is because the pro-lifers have fought
no,
and made the
no,
law with the
because
Hyde.
it's medical.
It's called the Hyde Amendment.
That isn't
Gary.
the reason. That isn't the reason. It's because it's a medical unnecessary procedure. In the same way that under the NHS, there's certain things that I have to pay for if I had them. Like, for example, if I wanted to have a nose job, or I wanted to have a lip job, or I wanted to change the way that my face looks.
Yeah,
that is a medical necessary procedure. That's something I need to pay for.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what a pregnancy is.
It's not worth arguing. Let's move on. Let's get to the important.
No, this is important. Okay. That Planned Parenthood, what it pays for is women to have breast scans and have.
They don't have any machinery to scan breasts. They don't do breast cancer exams other than
they
do manual ones. They don't have the machinery to do X-rays, to do mammograms.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, I mean,
they also do vaginal exams to do with vaginal cancer. They do brain exams to do with brain and aneurysms and stuff.
But they don't have
like
CT scans.
This is an important thing for poor women.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not against the things where they're helping women. I'm against the company that gets nearly a third of their money from doing abortions. That's what they do. That's their bread and butter.
Privately.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't want them killing children out of convenience.
They're not killing children out of convenience.
Killing humans, killing offspring, whatever you want to call it. I don't want them to do that, Gary.
But again, so would you not rather it was done by a medical professional who's...
I would rather they not do it. I would rather people get married and love their spouse and value their children. That's what I would like.
Right, when people make the choice to have an abortion, it isn't out of convenience.
It is. Almost always. That's what it is. And you can say it's financial hardship or fear of medical, complication, whatever. That's fine, but to me, that's convenience. Life is special.
They're not just emotionally ready to be a parent, because being a parent is
okay. So what if the woman? What if a 12-year-old girl has a baby and she's not emotionally ready to have a children? Should we be allowed to kill that child after it comes out of the womb?
No,
because she's not ready,
because then it's a full. You don't seem to understand that again. But if she chooses to have the baby, but is not emotionally ready, and she puts it up for adoption, or
why can't she do that when she's pregnant?
Pardon?
Why can't she do that when she's pregnant then?
She can. That's what pro-choice is.
Okay, so why not? But you're advocating killing the child.
Of everything. She's not just told about abortion. She's told about fostering and adoption. She's told of the risk of all of those things, and she's probably told of the risk that will do to her body.
I don't want to have an option where you're too immature to handle being a parent, so you can kill your child. I don't see the difference. It's in your tummy. It's outside your tummy. I'm sorry.
It's nothing to do with maturity.
And nothing to do with maturity.
Sometimes it's emotional readiness, because again,
being a maturity.
Are you a parent yourself?
Yeah, I've got 6 kids.
Okay, then you know it's a responsibility then.
It sure is.
Yeah, exactly. So, but some people aren't ready for that.
So we should go ahead and kill their children.
Or just don't want kids in general. Now, that doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just not for them. Now, again, you're forcing people who maybe don't want kids or just not ready for kids or can't afford kids or whatever to have kids because you don't like the fact that they're having a medical procedure done.
No,
they're not removing a human being.
Gary, they're terminating the life of their offspring. Do you agree with that?
Do I agree with them doing that?
No, I'm saying that's what is going on. It's not a medical procedure. They are terminating the life of their offspring. Is that true?
It's not alive.
It's not alive. It's a life at conception.
Not alive.
So it's dead? That which is growing in the womb is dead? There's only 2 options.
It's a clump of cells. It isn't what we'd class as alive yet.
A clump of cells at what point? You just showed me some, what were they, 12 weeks, which are really 10 weeks, and they had fully formed fingers.
It had developing fingers, and there are busy pudgy things.
So they're not clumps of cells.
And they didn't have bones yet. They couldn't move them.
They don't have bones?
They don't have bones yet. Bone development happens later.
Okay, but you agree that they're not... The Planned Parenthood is able to give those to the biomedical firm, and they can classify them as brains, eyes, pancreas, liver, if they get to a certain stage, even probably in the first trimester, And those are not clumps of cells, but they're body parts. Those are useful for medical research because it's human tissue.
It's not human tissue. It's developing tissue.
Okay. Well, I'm developing too. I'm degenerating.
It isn't developed yet. Because if it gets to do where it's classed as human tissue, it would be human. It is developing tissue.
Okay. Well, you're just using arbitrary.
No, I'm using the scientific definition.
No, you're not. What kind of scientific education do you have? I have none.
Me, personally, I've read books on numerous scientific subjects. Now, again, so science is not what I have my degree in, but I know enough
What is
about
your degree in?
English.
Okay. I don't have a college degree, so I'm a Dilbert. But anyway, I'm kind of self-taught and everything. Hey, listen, I need to get going. I've got some work I still need to finish up today. It's still daytime here. I know it's evening for you.
All right, no problem.
But we can continue the conversation if you like. We can do another hangout if you like. And
yeah, sure. I can host it on mine now. I don't know how to host it on mine now.
Yeah, go try to practice one and see if you can figure it out.
But I will leave you this. Please do not post those pictures up because you're hurting people who've had a miscarriage.
Gary, I don't mean to hurt people, but I must show the awareness of what exactly is being. Even you now, you saw the pictures, we discussed it, you even posted the pictures, and you still say it's a clump of tissues, even though you know it not. So I want to post those pictures and say it's not a clump of tissues. It's a human being in a developing stage, but they have body parts, and that's what I want people to know. Open their eyes, take off the veils of the lies of the culture that tells them it's not a human being, because it is. Okay.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, it's nice meeting you, Gary, and I'm sure we'll be talking again. And I thank you for this opportunity, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Bye.